Hi, I'm Robert from Mr. Insurance. Today we're going to be teaching you about the 5 secrets you didn't know about buying life insurance. In this 5-part series, you're going to learn number 1, the 3 components of a life insurance policy. Number 2, the different types of life insurance. Number 3, the dime method, how to calculate the face value of a policy. Number 4, you're going to learn about the qualifications and factors in determining that face value for your life insurance policy. And number 5, the 3 benefits of owning life insurance while you're still alive. If at any point during this video series you want to engage with us to get a free quote, no obligation quote on your life insurance policy, click the link in the description. Take you about 30 seconds to fill in the information and we'll get your quote to you within 24 hours. We're going to start with video number 1. We'll see you on the inside. I'm Robert from Mr. Insurance, and with me is
Jesse from Mr. Insurance.
Yeah, running Western Canada up to the BC border. So Jesse, how long have you been in the insurance industry and what gives you credibility to talk about the 3 components here today?
So I got into life insurance industry 3.5 years ago. The reason I stumbled upon it was because life insurance is something that we all should have set up for our families, our loved ones. And when I started having kids, me and my wife sat down and we said, we should, plan for our future and get set up. And so I set up with a policy and I had no idea how it worked. And I was paying for this month after month. And it got to a point where I started to wonder, what is it that I'm even paying for every single month? And so I started to do my own research, my own due diligence. And that's kind of how I stumbled into the industry, was through curiosity and just learning about the different policies that exist. And I discovered, a lot of different things about life insurance and how it can actually not only help you and your family when you die, but also while you're alive. That's what most excites me, is because, I want to help people now.
Yeah, that's a great story, Jesse. And for myself, I got into the industry because we were referring clients out from the accounting firm I was working at, and they were helping clients. Had my life insurance license about 15 years ago, and then learned a bunch of things over the years. But what we're talking about here today, though, is the 5 things you need to know about life insurance. And number 1 is the 3 main components of a life insurance policy. There's the owner, the beneficiary, and the life insured. And Jesse and I are just going to talk about them so that when you go out and get your life insurance policy or you're looking into it, you understand what these 3 components are. So number 1, Jesse, the owner of the policy.
I think a lot of people don't really understand that you can own a policy on somebody else's life. So for example, I have life insurance policies that I own that are in my kids' names. And heaven forbid, I'd never have to use it. But there's a lot of other components that go into the reasoning to why I got that set up for them, which I know we'll get into in the later videos. But as far as an owner goes, just because you own the policy doesn't mean you have to be the insured. And that's what I love about these videos, is we're going to explain the differences that most people just aren't even aware of.
The life insured, when something happens to that person when they pass away, or heaven forbid something happened while they're alive. But the beneficiary, that's who gets paid if something happens to the life insured. So the 3 main components, again, ownership, who owns a policy, that is a person that pays for the policy. The life insured is whose life is the policy on, and the beneficiary is who gets paid out if something happens to that person who the life insurance is on. So the life insured never changes. Once people get older and they realize they don't need the benefits of the insurance policy anymore, they can transfer ownership to their children. Or they can transfer it to, for example, siblings, spouse. And this is a way to pass money through your estate tax-free. We always joke around in the insurance industry with this question: who do you want to be your number 1 beneficiary? Somebody you choose or the government? 99.9 times out of 100, unless you're a government employee, they choose a person of their choice or a charity of their choice.
I think that's an important thing. I've even had this where I was reviewing other people's policies and they didn't have a beneficiary listed because, at the time of setting it up, there was one of those, we'll think about it. We'll add that in later. Later never comes for most people. And so now years have gone by and there's no beneficiary listed. And I tell them the same thing. Would you rather that money go to your family, or do you want it to go to the government? Because as of right now, it's going to the government.
Exactly. And another important caveat, the beneficiary, you want to look at that, at least once a year minimum. Your agent or your insurance broker should be reaching out to you at least once a year. Number 1 reason is because the beneficiary may change. How many times have you met somebody or know somebody that's gone through a divorce? Now, do you want the ex-spouse to get that death claim if something happens to you and you have a new spouse? How many times have we wanted to take our children out of the will, remove them as a beneficiary? I could take your name off that beneficiary line on the insurance policy. That usually straightens them up, usually gets them to do their chores. But for the most part, it should be reviewed once a year, because sometimes you might have too much insurance. And then there's those who may be underinsured. So you may want to review the face amount of the policy. And we're going to be talking about that in episode 3.
Life insurance is not something that people typically even want to talk about, but I think it's underestimated the power of what life insurance can do for people. And I think that having at least a basic understanding of what it is that you're going to be paying for the rest of your life is important. And that's how I view it. And it may not be a super fun conversation. However, it's an important conversation. And I look forward to chatting with anybody who books a call with us.
Jesse's contact info is in the link below. Our contact info in the link below. Reach out to us, MRINSURANCE.CA. Get your free, no obligation quote today, and we can help walk you through all the steps you need to know.